I want to tell you about the worst marriage proposal I have ever received. It was actually so bad, I'm not even sure it technically qualifies as a marriage proposal. That is how bad it was. And when I tell you the circumstances surrounding said proposal were so egregious that I can't believe this Muppet had the nerve, but he did. So here we are with more content. So when I was dating the cheating Australian, who my friends nicknamed Voldemort, so from here henceforth shall be referred to as Voldemort. We were living together, and we had very big, demanding corporate jobs for our age, and both doing corporate MBA, executive MBA. We were busy. Things got weird, and I had my suspicions. My spidey senses, and most of my chakras were very much closed back then, but still, like my spidey senses have always been strong. I'm more than a little psychic. I'm all the clairs, and but I was too distracted, too exhausted. He was a very, very, very good liar. Very good liar. I'm probably a sociopath. Like, but I don't. He wasn't tested, not at least for me anyway. Um, we had this atrocious breakup where basically he just sideswiped me and said it was over, and that was the first honest conversation we had actually had in months. And, I'd already had my suspicions, which he denied. And I was like, whatever. We were done. I moved out of the apartment. In Singapore, you have to sign 2-year leases on apartments. And this is one of the most expensive cities on earth. And basically, with a week's notice, I had to find an apartment and put down first, last deposit and sign a 2-year lease. That is how bad this breakup was. But actually, and I did. And you know what? I found the apartment of my dreams, and it was in the higher end of my budget, but I got it, and it ended up being the best apartment I've ever had. But those were the circumstances surrounding this. So I had already moved into the new apartment. What little furniture I owned, my belongings, they were already in the new apartment. I was at least a couple days, if not a week, into that apartment. This fool wants to get together, and we hadn't seen each other, and he wants to get together and have to talk. I thought, do it for the plot, I guess. I was like, all right, let's see. I thought I was walking into an apology. I thought I was walking into a finally an honest conversation about everything I knew, though I didn't have physical proof of, but everything my spidey senses all knew. And so we're sitting there, and I'm having, I don't know what he's having. I'm having champagne and French fries, just like my favorite meal. And basically, like, sums me up. Um, and he's fidgety and he's awkward, and I'm like, all right, just like out with it. Like, I am obviously a straightforward person. I was like, get to the plot. And he basically just blurts out, I think we should get married. I didn't even actually, I took less time than that pause, but I just looked at him and I didn't even think. And I just said, no, 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 no. Like, like 11 times or something. And he was like, okay, I got it. And I was like, no, no, no. I was so embarrassed for him. I was so embarrassed for me. Like, I was embarrassed for the champagne and fries. Like, I was embarrassed for the establishment. Like, I was embarrassed for everybody in there. I was so embarrassed. And so anyway, that night wrapped up fast, and I never saw him again. Though I did hear that he is actually engaged to an Indian woman, and I really want to unpack that at another date, but like not right now. So that is the worst marriage proposal I have ever received. Take care.